Greetings, Hopewell. I'm here in the church office printing copies of our latest newsletter, which will find their way into your mailboxes shortly. In the meantime, I wanted to share with you something that I learned early in ministry. Before I became a pastor, I served as a summer intern at a small family church in Davie County. And most days saw me shadowing the pastor as he went about his various responsibilities, visiting the sick, planning worship, visiting the homebound, preparing the sermon, leading worship, and so on. Now, my first Sunday there, I arrived early enough to help open the church for worship. Walking in the door, I headed for the sanctuary, but was stopped along the way by a pastor who wasn't in the sanctuary. He was in the Sunday school classroom across the hall, folding the bulletins for worship later that morning. When I came in and sat down to help, he said, "Let this be your first lesson. There is as much ministry in folding a bulletin as there is in preaching a sermon. Never underestimate the mundane or the insignificant." Now, at the time, the lesson rang true enough, but as I've moved deeper and deeper into my call to parish ministry, so it has taken on greater weight. Never underestimate the mundane or insignificant. Or rather, never underestimate the mundane or the insignificant's capacity for being a vehicle of God's grace in your own life. Never underestimate the kind word that you might be able to speak to someone else. Never underestimate the way that that person may also be God's grace in your own life in some way. Never underestimate the email that you might send or the one that you might receive. Never underestimate the conversation that you might have with your neighbor, all the while keeping your social distance and maintaining that protocol of being at home. Whatever the case may be, never underestimate that the God of heaven and earth can and does quite often communicate God's grace through the mundane and the insignificant.